Divinely manifest your high vibration. 7 Sacred Ways to Maintain Your Heavenly Frequency Daily. In the quaint English village of Haverley, the rolling hills seem to echo with divine whispers, inviting all who tread there to awaken their spirit. But for one woman, Mary, the stakes were unfathomably higher. With a heart steeped in faith, she often held her community of believers in prayer, teaching them how to navigate the celestial currents of life. Each day, Mary radiated an undeniable vibrational frequency, believing that every dawn could usher in miracles until her only son fell gravely ill, a thick fog of despair looming over her family. When the best doctors found no answers and the village murmurs felt like 1,000 voices doubting her devoted stand, Mary clung tight to the fading light of hope. Each evening, she gathered her loved ones around the kitchen table, their fingers entwined, invoking St. Jude's intercession, the patron saint of hopeless causes. The glow of flickering candlelight danced across their worry-etched faces as Mary poured out her heart. Lord, grant us a sign, a miracle. With each word, the atmosphere thickened, charged with a palpable energy of belief, yet as the days blurred into nights, her desperation grew. Conventional treatments yielded nothing but empty promises, leaving her adrift in a sea of confusion and anguish. She turned to the 7 sacred ways to maintain a high vibration of faith, weaving them into her life as fervently as threads in a tapestry: prayer, gratitude, meditation, service, community, surrender, and love. Each act was a bow to the heavens, yet it felt like a dance in the dark with uncertainty. Just when hope seemed to slip through her fingers, the rain began to fall. On a dreary afternoon, Mary was drawn by a strange pull to the woods behind her house. The downpour danced upon the leaves, creating a symphony of nature that soothed the soul. There, she encountered a kind stranger whose radiant presence illuminated even the darkest corners of her heart. With eyes that seemed to know her struggles, he whispered, "Trust in His plan. Healing transcends the body, it reawakens the spirit." Those simple words hit her like a divine thunderbolt, awakening everything she had buried beneath despair. Empowered by this revelation, Mary transformed her prayers from desperate cries into declarations of bold faith, summoning her community with a newfound urgency. The village felt the shift. Whispers of renewed hope began to flutter like butterflies through the parish. "Gather, all. We come to invoke the light," she encouraged, and their spirits intertwined, igniting a fervor to rival the flames of the day of Pentecost. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As they gathered in the church one starry night, the air felt electric, thick with hope. Mary stood at the altar, heart racing. Was this the moment when heaven would touch earth? With every prayer, every chant of belief, she could almost feel the sacred light wrapping around her beloved son. Yet as the congregation swelled, a haunting question loomed like a shadow: could miracles still happen today? With hearts uplifted yet heavy with anticipation, they looked to Mary, who had become a beacon of both faith and fear. What unfolded next would challenge not only their belief but the very essence of what it meant to trust divine providence. The village braced, waiting for the next celestial movement, holding their breath at the precipice of faith and doubt. The moment of silence stretched, heavy with the weight of expectation. Mary raised her arms, palms open to the heavens, as if offering herself entirely to the will of God. Around her, the congregation found themselves drawn into her fervor. The flickering candles cast a golden hue, warming their faces and igniting embers of faith that flickered in their hearts. "Let us declare it together," she urged, her voice rising like incense. "We believe in the miracles of our Lord. We trust in His divine love." The villagers echoed her words, their cries merging into a symphony of hope. It felt as if each syllable took flight, carried upward to the very heavens. With every repetition of their declarations, Mary felt a growing energy surging through her, knitting together the strength of their prayers and the intent of their hearts. She closed her eyes, surrendering her fear, focusing instead on the divine connection that enveloped them all. Suddenly, the air shifted. A gentle breeze stirred through the open windows, rustling the leaves of the trees outside as if they too were responding to their call. Murmurs swept through the crowd, eyes wide as they anticipated something miraculous. Just then, a soft glow seemed to emanate from the altar, enfolding Mary and those nearest her. It felt as if a sacred warmth blanketed them, wrapping around their spirits as they had once wrapped their fingers during prayers at home. A sigh of wonder rippled through the congregation, a sound of deep reverence mingling with their hopeful cries. "Lord, show us your glory!" Someone called out, and the voice was echoed by many with fervor. Mary opened her eyes, filled with expectation. She could not deny the surge of faith coiling within, pressing against her ribs. It was then that she felt a gentle nudge from within, urging her toward a place of deeper faith than she'd known before. Uncertainty still lingered like shadows of doubt, but beneath it all was an insistent flame of hope, a promise that God's presence was very much there, moving among them. As they prayed, Mary felt the energy in the room shift again. It was as if time stood still, and the air itself began to hum with an otherworldly resonance. Each heart pounded with belief, each spirit soared higher. They were united, a tapestry woven from strands of shared love and faith, awaiting a heavenly response. In the silence that followed, a soft voice resonated from the back of the church. "Mighty things happen when we gather as one." It was old Mr. Thompson, a beloved figure known for his quiet wisdom. His words acted like a catalyst, igniting fervor anew, as the congregation rallied to his call. "Together!" Mary exclaimed, her voice cutting through the atmosphere. "We manifest the promise of healing. We stand united in faith, no fear shall shake us." The flickering candles flared to life, brighter and more radiant, casting a divine glow across the faces of their village. They became a hurricane of prayers, vibrations rising beyond the confines of their earthly challenges. Yet amidst this powerful moment, the tension held firm, the ache for her son's healing still nestled deep in Mary's heart. What would happen when the final prayer was said? Would it be answered? As the congregation breathed in this shared rhythm of devotion, a soft, almost imperceptible sound filled the air, a sound reminiscent of angel wings. Was this a sign? With hearts ablaze and spirits alight, they awaited the unfolding of their miracle, unaware that divine timing was about to reveal itself in an unexpected way. As the congregation continued their fervent prayers, the room pulsed with a newfound energy, a palpable sense of anticipation hanging heavy like dew in the morning air. Mary opened her eyes just as a brilliant flash of light flickered at the altar. Gasps of awe spread among the congregation, their faces turning toward the source of this holy radiance. All at once, a melodious harmony filled the sanctuary, an ethereal sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, enveloping them in its embrace. It was as if the heavens themselves were singing in response to their gathering. Mary felt the music resonate deep within her soul, and she could hardly contain her joy. "Lift your voices!" she cried, her own heart beating in rhythm with the sacred melody. "Praise him for his goodness, for he is with us." Caught up in the moment, the villagers began to sway as if orchestrated by an unseen conductor. Their worship melded with the music, each note rising like incense to the skies. Hands that once trembled brought forth trembling joy, lifting toward heaven in praise. It didn't matter that some voices wavered, each person sang with all their heart. Then, as if carrying their united prayers, the flame of the candles danced higher, casting flickering shadows that twirled on the walls. In that sacred space, the air thickened with the palpable presence of the Spirit. Each face glowed, illuminated by hope and love, as they continued to pour out their hearts to God. Mary felt a gentle tap on her shoulder. It was young Abigail, her wise beyond her years best friend. "Look, Mary," she whispered, her wide eyes reflecting the glow. "He is answering us." Mary turned to look, and there, emerging from the radiant light, was a figure cloaked in warmth and compassion, aglow with the very essence of love. The atmosphere shifted again, thick with majesty and soft benevolence. "Fear not, beloved," the figure spoke, the voice reminiscent of gentle waters flowing over smooth stones. "Your prayers have been heard and felt. Healing is coming forth, but trust in the timing of my plans." The collective breath of the congregation seemed to hitch in unison, an electrifying mix of hope and wonder swirling around them. How could it be? Healing was promised, yet the way forward remained shrouded in divine mystery, stretching out ahead like a road half hidden in fog. Mary's heart raced with a powerful ache, a mix of longing for her son through the veil and the sweet, unknowable peace of knowing God's presence was surrounding them. Mr. Thompson stepped forward, his weathered hand trembling as he raised it, fingers pointed toward the radiant figure. "Lord, we trust in your grace. Help us to remain steadfast." The glow intensified, illuminating the church, and again, that sound like angel wings fluttered above their heads, a reminder of the unseen world dancing joyfully along with their faith. It was no longer only a supplication, it had transformed into an exaltation, an invitation to step closer. "Embrace your power," the figure urged, "for when you gather in love, miracles can manifest in ways you cannot yet imagine." Just then, the air thickened, thick with expectancy. Eyes turned upwards, breaths held tight. Mary stepped forward, emboldened by the presence of this divine messenger. "Can we truly expect healing today, Lord?" she ventured, her voice trembling with hope. As the hush deepened, the question hung in the air like a prayer itself. Would they witness a miracle, or would the waiting continue? With hearts uplifted and minds coaxed toward faith, they stood on the brink of something extraordinary, heartbeats syncing with the divine rhythm. What could unfold in this fragile space where faith intertwined with the very essence of God? A click echoed in the stillness, a simple sound, but powerful. What awaited them just beyond the edge of faith and trust? The answer lay just beyond the horizon of their prayers. As the click reverberated through the sacred space, a rush of communication seemed to stir in the air. Mary felt a shift within her. The atmosphere was thickened by an infusion of faith, an unseen wave that curled around her heart, mingling hope with the sweetness of divine promise. "Let us not waver," Abigail shouted, her youthful voice breaking the silence, igniting sparks of faith in the hearts of those who heard. The energy surged among the congregation, pulling them from the brink of uncertainty into a shared resolve. They instinctively joined hands, weaving a tapestry of unity stronger than any single voice could form. Mary could feel the warmth of her neighbors beside her, their fears began to melt like morning frost under the rising sun. There was something undeniably potent in that moment, an electric joy crackling like lightning against the dark regions of doubt. "Lift your voice, lift your hearts," Mary called out again, her spirit buoyed by the angelic figure still aglow at the altar. The music crescendoed, stirring every soul into song, like a rising tide carrying boats high into the sky. With eyes locked onto the heavenly figure, Mr. Thompson seemed to burst forth with renewed courage, hands raised high. "We declare healing, Lord. We claim it in your holy name." His voice rang out, bold and unwavering, and the congregation echoed him, a chorus of faith spilling forth like rain on thirsty soil. As the sound swelled, the radiant figure nodded, and for a moment, the brilliance enveloped the entire sanctuary. Mary felt a rush of peace wash over her, soothing her worries and holding her spirit aloft. The figure spoke again, its voice like a soft breeze through swaying trees. "Beloved ones, believe in the power of your shared faith. The change comes as you open your hearts." Suddenly, the flickering candles quivered as if responding to an unseen breath. There was a stirring, a kind of sacred movement resonating across the gathered bodies. The music transformed, it flowed seamlessly from melodious notes into something deeper, a call, a promise of fresh beginnings. Mary turned, eyes wide, to the faces around her. Each one filled with wonder, hope, and longing reflected the same shared spirit alive in her. She could see it in Abigail's illuminated smile, the old men whose hearts had grown tired, mothers trembling with anticipation. They were all part of this holy tapestry being woven, thread by thread. "Trust, beloveds," the figure urged again, its tone rich with kindness. Let the love among you shine. In this unity, healing flows freely. You are vessels of grace. The light intensified further, and Mary felt tears prickling her eyes, a mixture of joy and release. Could it be that what they longed for would be unveiled? A heartbeat echoed, not just within her chest but through the building, and a hush descended once again, fragile and sacred. Can we truly be the instruments of this healing? Mary whispered, her voice barely rising above the sound of expectancy. A question laced with the weight of possibility, temptation dancing in her heart like fireflies in the night. Tonight, let faith be your compass. The figure replied, the warmth radiating toward each soul present. Time hung suspended, and a palpable silence filled every crack and crevice, pregnant with possibility. They stood on the threshold of transformation, hearts intertwined above the uncertainties. What awaited them in this sacred moment of divine connection? As hope unfolded before them, the answer shimmered just beyond their grasp. In that sacred silence, a gentle wind began to stir, brushing against their skin like a soft embrace. It whispered secrets known only to the heavens. Mary closed her eyes, soaking in the presence surrounding them, as if every breath became a prayer interwoven with the heartbeat of creation. Feel the gentleness of his spirit. Abigail exclaimed, her eyes bright with inspiration. Open your hearts, let love flow through you. She clasped hands with her neighbor, her youthful enthusiasm igniting the room like a single spark in the darkest night. One by one, others began to join in, forming a circle of interconnected souls, bound by faith and yearning. The angelic figure shimmered brighter, an oasis of light penetrating through the veil of uncertainty. In this moment, let your burdens be lifted, it spoke, an invitation dripping with compassion. Release what weighs you down, cast it into the boundless seas of grace. Mary felt a swell of emotion, the weight on her heart beginning to dissolve like sugar in warm tea. Behind her, she could hear soft sobs and whispered prayers manifesting in the shared space. The air thickened with understanding and healing, each individual laying down their insecurities, fears, and sorrows. Lord, she breathed, make us vessels of your love. Let your healing flow through us. Her voice, once a fragile thread, strengthened with every word she uttered, launching into a prayer fervent with deep yearning and desire for transformation. As if acknowledging her plea, the angelic figure extended its arms wide, inviting them to share in a divine outpouring. Light burst forth with a brightness that felt tangible, filling the sanctuary with warmth, a divine embrace wrapping around every soul present. One elderly woman, Ms. Worthington, began to sway gently, her voice rising to meet the heavenly sound. We are vessels. She sang, her voice crackling with age yet buoyed by fervor. We are channels of his grace, oh, let it overflow. One by one, others joined in, their hearts tethered by a joyous resonance that transcended their individual struggles. The music swirled, taking on a new character, a woven harmony of hope, despair transformed into triumph. Voices combined, lifting higher and higher until they soared to the very heavens, pleading and rejoicing all at once. Each note, a prayer. Each harmony, a declaration of belief in their power within this collective moment of grace. Mary opened her eyes, gazing at the faces around her, each one lit with an inner glow, transformed by the experience. Was this truly the healing they sought, or a mere glimpse of something even greater? She felt a divine promise embedded within their collective energy, an unspoken assurance that they were moving towards something really extraordinary. As the music ebbed and flowed, a deeper truth began to resonate within her. In unity is our strength, in faith is our healing. What testimony would they take from this night? And how would their lives shift under the weight of this new revelation? Elders, mothers, children, the figure's voice called out, soft yet powerful, you are the light in the world. Will you shine brightly, even amidst the shadows? Mary's heart quickened at the question, stirring something deep within. What clarity lay ahead? What challenges awaited them on this journey of faith? As the echoes of song lingered in the air, she could sense the path unraveling at their feet, calling for courage, calling for action. How would they walk this divine journey together? The answer awaited them just beyond the horizon, and as Mary stood there, filled with hope and the promise of blessings yet to come. She knew deep within that this moment was only the beginning of their sacred adventure. Would they boldly step into the light? As the last echoes of their collective song faded, a palpable stillness settled around them. The flickering candles cast gentle shadows, playing like whispers of hope on the walls of the sanctuary. Mary felt an electric energy in the air, an unshakable presence lingering like a sweet fragrance that filled the heart with awe. "Did you feel that?" Abigail turned to Mary, her eyes wide with wonder. "It was like we were lifted above the ground, surrounded by His glory." "I could feel it too," Mary replied, glancing around at the circle of souls still holding hands. "There's something at work here. Something divine." The angelic figure remained a luminous centerpiece among them, its brilliance undiminished. "You have sung your truth," it reiterated, a twinkle in its radiant eyes. "Now, share it. Speak of your burdens, your hopes. Let your words weave this light into the tapestry of your life." One by one, voices emerged from the depths of their hearts, trembling yet forthright. An elderly man named Mr. Thompson stepped forward, his voice grateful and sincere. "I've lived alone for many years. I've allowed loneliness to creep into my spirit. But tonight, I felt a connection, a reminder that I am not truly alone." Tears welled in Mary's eyes, her heart swelling with empathy. "You've never been alone, Mr. Thompson," she whispered, her voice a loving echo. "Together, we are woven into this beautiful fabric. Your presence matters." As if in response to her declaration, the light around them pulsed warmly, enveloping them in a divine embrace. Others shared their own stories, vulnerabilities mingled with courage, heartaches with hope. Laughter erupted between tearful confessions as they discovered not just solace but purpose in collective vulnerability. In the midst of this sacred sharing, Mary felt a tugging within her heart, a deeper calling. An inspiration sparked. "What if," she proposed, her heart racing with excitement, "we committed to carrying this light into our everyday lives? Imagine every moment reflecting this divine love." Abigail's eyes brightened as she nodded vigorously. "Yes. We could start a group, a monthly gathering to ignite our spirits, to share our burdens, to rejoice in our blessings." Life poured into their ideas. They imagined acts of kindness spreading joy in unexpected places. They envisioned prayer circles at the local park, smiling conversations with strangers, laughter shared over communal meals. Each began to catch the vision, drawing their own connections. "Let us be lamps in a world that sometimes feels dark," Ms. Worthington chimed in, her voice strong and clear. "We hold this light, let us shine in our neighborhoods, our families, and beyond." The angelic figure smiled upon them, its face radiating joy. "You are beckoning forth the kingdom of heaven," it proclaimed. "Take heed, for the path will not always be easy. Remember, challenges will arise, but fear not. You have the strength of love coursing through you." Mary's spirit soared at the affirmation. Yet, uncertainty crept in. Could they truly sustain this divine commitment? Would their resolve hold firm amid the mundane storms of life? Each heart felt the weight of that question, yet there was a certainty blooming within. They had tasted the nectar of togetherness, and it revitalized their spirits. Would that be enough to fuel their journey? As they stood together, lit from within and resolved to shine, Mary's heart pounded with anticipation. They were no longer merely a circle bound by faith, they were an awakening field of light poised to transform their reality. "What next?" she whispered, the question hanging in the air like a prayer. With brightened spirits and hearts intertwined, they took a collective deep breath, embracing the mysterious adventure lying ahead. What awaited them on this path of light? What divine challenges and miracles? The answer shimmered irresistibly just beyond their reach. As the warmth of their shared light settled over them, a gentle urge filled the sanctuary. The angelic figure's presence seemed to encourage them onward, almost pressing them forward into a new realm of existence. Mary felt a pull in her spirit, a whisper to step further into this commitment they had begun to forge. "Let us speak of our intentions," she urged softly, keenly aware that their collective heart had kindled a sacred flame. Each gaze was heavy with expectation, glimpses of the vibrant future glimmering behind their eyes. One by one, they began to articulate their goals, each intention an offering laid gently at the altar of their shared faith. Abigail spoke first, her voice steady and clear. "I want to open my home to those in need, to provide comfort and a listening ear." Mr. Thompson nodded in approval. "That's beautiful. I wish to share meals with others, to create a sense of family among the lonely. We can remind them they are cherished." Amidst their resolutions, a sense of excitement permeated the air. Mary envisioned the incredible ripple of faith that could spread through their community, imagining the transformation stemming from their small but potent actions. Yet, a sudden hush fell over the group, as Ms. Worthington looked deeper into the light. "What about the struggles we face? How do we reconcile our hearts when dark clouds hover over us?" Mary felt the weight of her questions sink into her core. The glimmer of optimism that had filled her moments before dimmed slightly. But then, she recalled the strength they had felt earlier, a strength that pulled them from shadows into the light. "It's in those moments, I believe, that we must hold each other close," she responded. "We are not meant to journey alone. Together, we can share both the burdens and the blessings. Prayer will be our anchor." The angel nodded at their exchange, affirming the importance of unity. "Yes, indeed," it sang, its voice like a gentle breeze. "Hold tight to prayer as your companion. As you stray too close to doubts, it will guide you back to the light, illuminating your path." The group murmured thoughtfully. They all understood, challenges would rise, shadows would threaten, but with their intertwining faith, there was solace just a breath away. As they continued sharing, a gentle reassurance filled the air and their hearts. "Let us create a space for healing, a refuge where love can rise above conflict," Abigail added, her determination infectious. "We can gather each week, not just to share joy, but to pray, to support one another in our challenges." The angelic figure radiated even more brightly, a celestial smile breaking across its face. "You are forging a sanctuary of love. Each intention you speak forms the pillars of your sacred community. Even when storms hit, your light will remain strong and unwavering, if you hold to your commitments." They all felt that reminder settle within them, warming their spirits once more. The idea of togetherness shone fiercely, it symbolized hope as real and tangible as the sanctuary around them. "Can we keep this alive?" Mary whispered suddenly, vulnerable yet courageous. "Through life's chaos, how can we continuously affirm our commitment to being this light?" The question hung in the air, drawing a circle of thoughtful silence. Each person searched their hearts, each aware that the answer required more than words, it would demand action, dedication, and prayer. "What if," Mr. Thompson suggested cautiously, "we reach out to others? Invite them in to share our stories, and let them breathe in this spirit of light? Could this be the start of something greater?" Abigail mused, her eyes lighting up again. As they shared ideas, their faces glowed brighter than the candles surrounding them. Vision and hope pulsated like a heartbeat, stronger with every exchange. The sanctuary seemed to resonate with a collective spirit, as if pulling in the universe's energy, but deep inside, Mary sensed the unknown hovering just at the edge of their journey, a beautiful mystery waiting to unfold. What lessons would they face? What miracles would dance at their doorstep? The thought sent a shiver of anticipation up her spine, and she found herself smiling wide. They were ready to discover the path before them, no matter how tangled or rugged it might be. Together, she declared with joy, "Let's take that first step into the unknown, in faith and love." And so they did, united in heart and spirit. They would journey onward, each twist and turn in faith, each encounter a step toward the miraculous. What divine surprises awaited them as they stepped into the unfolding journey? The wonder awaited just beyond their reach, beckoning them toward the next chapter of their lives. As they stepped into the unfolding journey, there was a palpable shift in the atmosphere. The candlelight flickered with a gentle rhythm, as if dancing to the heartbeat of their shared faith. Mary felt her spirit lift, buoyed by the excitement of what was to come. "Let us not just talk about our visions," she said, her voice growing stronger. "Let us commit to seeing them grow in tangible ways." Mr. Thompson stood with renewed vigor. "What if we start by creating a schedule? Something regular where we can gather, pray, and share our progress? This way, we keep encouraging one another." Abigail nodded enthusiastically. "Yes. And we should dedicate one of those meetings to brainstorming how to reach others, to spread this light beyond our circle." Each idea sparked a flicker of innovation within the group. They dove deeper into conversation, mapping out an outline for the weeks ahead. The encouragement grew as they shared more than just intentions, they shared dreams. Ms. Worthington, her brow furrowed in thought, finally raised her voice. "But what if the fear holds us back? What if we doubt our ability to truly make a difference?" The room fell silent again. Instinctively, they sought the comforting presence of the angel, whose light filled the space with warmth. "Fear is real," it spoke, its voice resonating like a soothing balm. "Yet remember that faith is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. You are not alone in your doubts. Share them." Mary looked around. "That's it. Let us set aside a time during our meetings for vulnerability where we can lay our fears out, pray over them, and find a way through together." With renewed heart, the group started to form specific plans. They established weekly themes for their gatherings, such as sharing our stories and overcoming obstacles together. Each suggestion was met with a nod, a smile, and a whisper of gratitude floating through the air like a prayer. As they settled into their new structure, an indescribable joy began to rise. They were building something beautiful. Each voice became a note in a song of hope that echoed in the sacred space. Even as they laughed and imagined the faces of those they would reach, Mary sensed a stirring beneath it all. Something awaited them, an unusual opportunity that felt like a divine spark just on the horizon. "What if," she shared, excitement bubbling up, "we create a community event, a day of service, where we can gather as many people as we can? We could host a meal and invite everyone in the neighborhood. Imagine the lives we could touch," Abigail exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with possibility. "What if it leads to friendships or new beginnings for those who feel lost? But where do we start?" Ms. Worthington asked, her voice a mix of eagerness and trepidation. "Let us seek wisdom. We can pray for guidance together," Mr. Thompson suggested. "Ask how we can best serve." They bowed their heads collectively, and in that moment, the sanctuary took on a hushed reverence. As they prayed, Mary felt the spirit of unity swell once more, and the warmth of God's light enveloped them like a soft embrace. It was a reminder that each step they took was draped in divine purpose. When they opened their eyes again, it was as if a new fire had ignited among them. The tasks ahead began to unfold within their hearts, gathering supplies, enlisting volunteers, spreading the word. With the weight of the world yet still lifted by faith, they shared glances of commitment. They would face challenges, they knew. But the power of their love and support would carry them, and God would lead them every step. The angel smiled down at them, illuminating the path ahead. "Remember, each action arises from your intentions. You are walking in the light." But as they turned to conclude their first meeting with soft murmurs of prayer, a sudden chill whispered through the air, catching their breath. Something was coming. The unknown beckoned with a lingering mystery. What miraculous opportunity awaited them just around the corner? Would this journey transform them in ways they hadn't yet imagined? The promise of adventure loomed ahead, shrouded in wonder. The following week, the group gathered again, anticipation buzzing in the air. It felt as though the very walls of the room pulsed with energy, ready to support their mission. As they settled into their seats, Mary looked around at her friends. Each face reflected a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "Today, let us dive into our plans," she suggested, her heart racing with purpose. "I can almost feel the presence of something amazing waiting for us." Mr. Thompson started with a prayer, his voice steady and sincere. "Heavenly Father, guide our thoughts and actions today. Help us to see clearly the path you have set before us. With that, an air of calm washed over them. The fears from their last meeting began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of shared ambition. Abigail jumped in, her enthusiasm infectious. Let us split our tasks. I can handle the food and supplies. I feel a pull to connect with local businesses and see how they can contribute. Mary nodded. That's a great idea, Abigail. We'll need a lot of support to make our community event shine. Ms. Worthington chimed in with a smile. I can reach out to the local church and ask if we can use their community hall. It would be wonderful to have a space where everyone feels welcome. The sound of eager voices filled the room, each person excitedly offering their talents. I'd love to help with the decorations, added another member. Beautiful surroundings can really uplift spirits. As they filled the board with tasks and assigned roles, the angel's presence felt closer, filling the air with a bright, reassuring light. You see, it spoke softly, creation flows from your hands when guided by love. Each contribution is a thread in this beautiful tapestry. They worked through the details, praying over logistics, and brainstorming the best ways to spread the word. Word of mouth, flyers, and social media became their tools, and they all engaged with rising fervor. Yet, amid the joyous planning, a deep, shadowy thought crept back into Mary's awareness. What if unexpected obstacles arise? She paused, scanning the group's hopeful faces. Doubts can creep up, and we might feel overwhelmed before anyone could reply. The angel interrupted her contemplative spiral. Each doubt will be met with faith. Your vision is nurtured by trials, but remember, they will also serve as your testament. Face them with open hearts. They took a moment, absorbing the angel's wisdom. Yes, Mary said anew. Let us keep each other accountable through our fears and frustrations. We can lean on one another, and that's part of our strength. The energy shifted again, vibrant and alive. They ended the meeting with soaring prayers, filled with gratitude and overflowing excitement for what lay ahead. Each heart now carried the spark of collaboration and undeniable unity, a collection of illuminated souls ready to serve. As they prepared to leave, a soft rustle echoed down the hallway. Mary exchanged glances with Mr. Thompson, who raised an eyebrow. Did anyone else hear that? Abigail nodded slightly, her expression shifting to concern. It sounded like it came from the storage closet. With collective curiosity and a hint of trepidation, they leaned closer toward the sound. What could possibly be waiting for them behind closed doors? Was it a sign, a challenge, or perhaps a divine blessing? The mystery deepened as they exchanged unsure glances, hearts racing, breath held tight. The adventure was only beginning. As the sound from the storage closet grew louder, curiosity entwined with anticipation filled the room. Mary stepped forward, her heart pounding like a drum of faith. Let us open it, she urged. The group nodded, excitement and trepidation etched across their faces. With a gentle push, Mary swung the door wide open. A soft, golden light spilled into the dimly lit hallway, illuminating dusty shelves and forgotten supplies. But among the usual clutter, a magnificent sight greeted them: a stack of shining pots adorned with intricately carved symbols of unity and hope. Look! Abigail gasped, stepping forward to touch one of the pots. It feels alive. The group gathered closer, enchanted by the unexpected treasure. The angelic figure seemed to shimmer with delight, as if watching the unfolding of a divine plan. Each pot contains the essence of your love and faith, the angel explained, its voice a melodic echo, reverberating in their hearts. These are vessels for your service to the community. Use them to carry forth your light. Mary's spirit soared. We can fill these with kindness, food, warmth, and love for those in need. They'll be symbols of our commitment to sharing hope. Think of the joy we can spread, Mr. Thompson added, his voice filled with inspiration. We could gather donations to fill them up and distribute them at our community event. It's meant to be. The group erupted with excitement, rapidly pitching ideas about their newfound vessels. The air danced with fervent energy, and confidence reignited in their hearts. "This is the sign we prayed for," Mary proclaimed, her voice a vibrant call of unity. "It's a reminder that every act of service, no matter how small, is significant. Together, we can transform the world around us." With their newfound purpose, they moved swiftly, assigning roles to fill the pots with nourishing food, toiletries, and encouraging notes. Each item became more than just a gift, it was a tangible manifestation of their love and commitment to their mission. Days turned into nights filled with laughter, brainstorming sessions, and heartfelt prayers as they prepared for the community gathering. Neighbors saw vibrant flyers posted around town, carrying messages of togetherness and joy, and the anticipation grew among the villagers. Finally, the day of the community event dawned. Sunlight streamed through the trees, casting golden hues across the church lawn. Tables adorned with colorful cloths stood ready to welcome all who crossed their path. Mary, dressed in a simple yet radiant dress, felt the sacred energy pulsating around her. It felt like the very breath of God enveloping them in love. As people began to arrive, she stood at the entrance with Abigail, welcoming each soul with open arms. Mr. Thompson helped direct traffic, while others joyfully set the tables. The initial shyness swiftly turned into laughter, genuine smiles illuminating their faces in a beautiful display of hope. "Look at them coming together," Abigail exclaimed, clasping Mary's hand tightly. "We're truly becoming light-bearers." As the pots filled with offerings, a palpable shift occurred among the gathering crowd. With a gentle nudge, Mary led them to form a circle. "Let us pause to send our love and gratitude to God for bringing us here," she said, her heart swelling with divine purpose. They bowed their heads, the prayers eliciting rich vibration among them, a collective heartbeat rising toward the heavens. Joyful music filled the air, mingling with laughter, the sounds of community blossoming in every corner of the lawn. With their spirits entwined, Mary felt an overwhelming sense of peace, knowing this wasn't just an event, it was a beautiful manifestation of love at work. As the event drew to a close, the villagers began to express their gratitude. One mother standing beside her children spoke up, "Thank you for this. We'd lost hope, feeling stranded. But now, we've found connection and joy again." Tears glistened in Mary's eyes as pure joy radiated from her heart. "Tonight's miracle is in our unity," she declared, her voice resonant with emotion. "Let us take this spirit of love with us, igniting fires of kindness wherever we go." And so they departed, hearts overflowing, carrying the promise of brighter tomorrows and divine connections. Mary stood at the forefront of it all, feeling the radiant warmth of the angel's presence upon her shoulders. "Transformations have begun," she whispered, glancing at the faces surrounding her, faces that now gleamed with faith, love, and purpose. "Now go forth," the angel's voice echoed in her heart, "for this is just the beginning. Let your light continue to shine, illuminating the path ahead." As she watched the villagers depart, a warmth enveloped her being. The journey was unfolding beautifully, each moment an echo of their strengthened hearts. Together, they had manifested a divine connection that would carry them onward, and the best, she knew, was yet to come. There was a promise in the air and a call to adventure just beginning, a beautiful tapestry woven together, celebrating the sacred bond of faith that united them all. Now is your turn, beloved. You need to subscribe now. Don't miss the next exclusive stories of faith that could change your life. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this message. Comment below your reactions and personal testimonies about the message you just witnessed, and share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need this divine manifestation in their lives. Don't wait even one more second, let us shine together.